Yes, guys, we are back with Premier League predictions. It's week 2 this week, Sophie. Set us a big like target.
Well, the last video did very, very well, so let's go big again. 4,000 likes.
Ooh, let's do it. Make sure to hit the like button. Thank you so much for your support last week. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well if you want more Premier League content. Get involved. Sophie, last week was absolutely mental. We saw Leeds United and Sunderland both picking up wins on their return to the Premier League. Liverpool won 4-2 against Bournemouth. Man City are top after a 4-0 win. And between ourselves, you came out on top 6-5. It was the late Leeds United goal that won it for you.
Yeah, thank God that VAR decided, yeah, that was a penalty, even though his arm was tucked in.
But, I mean, fair play to you. You predicted a riot, and that's what happened.
Exactly.
Sophie, let's get into the predictions for this week, and we start with a Frank Lampard derby. It's West Ham versus Chelsea. Sophie, West Ham, rubbish.
Yeah.
Absolutely rubbish against
Really poor.
Sunderland. I don't want to take too much away from Sunderland because I thought they were absolutely fantastic. But West Ham, I'm a little bit worried about. If Graham Potter doesn't turn things around in the early stages of this season,
They could go down.
well, I think he'll get sacked.
Well, that, but also I think they could go down. If they continue that, I know it's only one game, but so far, so bad. That was so poor.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if they win this game, all of a sudden it's like, hang on a minute.
Oh, all right.
Things are looking okay again. But I don't know if they're going to win this. I think Chelsea are going to be really desperate to get that first win. Of course, it was a 0-0 against Palace last time. There was obviously a goal for Eze that was disallowed that we'll come on to when we talk about Palace. But I think Chelsea are going to be able to do it. I think Chelsea, I mean, we both predicted them to draw with Palace.
Yeah.
But I do fancy them to beat West Ham. I will go first, and I'm going to say West Ham 0, Chelsea 2.
Okay, I thought we might go for the same scoreline then, but I don't see there being too many goals, to be honest. Obviously, watching some of the Chelsea game, you think, okay, maybe it's going to take a few game weeks for them to find their feet, get into their flow. So I do think they'll win this one, just because I think West Ham looks so poor in their opening game, and if they play like that, they could get punished. But I don't think they're going to play as bad. They can't, surely. So I'm just going to say Chelsea 1-0 for me. Obviously win, but not by much.
Yeah, so we've got Chelsea 1-0 and Chelsea 2-0. I mean, it just feels like if Jarrod Bowen's not in form, then West Ham are going to struggle.
Yeah, and Kudus is a big miss, to be fair.
Do you think? Yeah. But he wasn't, like, massive last season.
No, last season wasn't that good, but then you see how he's playing for Tottenham now, like in one game, and you think, okay, yeah, he's a very, very good player. It is a big miss.
Well, do share your thoughts, West Ham fans. Are we right to have some concerns even after just one game? And as for Chelsea, 4 points. If they win this one, that's a reasonable start. On to the next one, Sophie. Manchester City versus Tottenham. I'm looking forward to this because both of them were brilliant on the opening game week. Manchester City, Sophie, looked back to their absolutely relentless selves from a few years ago. And you know what? They might win the league this season. Tottenham, though, 3-0 win over Burnley. Maybe it slightly didn't reflect how Burnley played, because I thought Burnley weren't that bad, but Tottenham definitely deserved to win.
Richarlison had a great game as well. Like, his goals were just insane.
Yes, Richarlison's overhead kick was absolutely outrageous. Sophie, Tottenham do have this weird record of being able to take points off Man City more than other teams in the Premier League do. So what are you saying?
Taking all of that into account, I'm predicting a Man City win. You've got to. I liked how they were playing in their opening game. They look very, very strong. They're taking their chances, and I think their summer signings are definitely paying off. Thought at the time they were good, but they're already coming good. There wasn't that settling in period.
In particular, Cherky and Reinders looked very good.
And Nori, I absolutely love him. Obviously, he got the clean sheet as well. 3-1 Man City.
Ooh.
I think there could be a few goals, but I do fancy Spurs to get on the score sheet as well, so 3-1.
Well, believe it or not, Sophie, that is a scribble, because I had written down Manchester City 3-1, but I will go 2-1 instead. I think Tottenham will make a game of it, and I think under Thomas Frank they're going to be less open defensively than they were under Ange. But
definitely.
Man City looked absolutely devastatingly good going forwards,
Yeah.
and I think James Trafford is going to grow in confidence with that clean sheet as well. So there you go, we've got Man City 3-1, Man City 2-1. Share your thoughts down below. The next game, Sophie, sees AFC Bournemouth take on Wolves. Already feels like a big game because both teams have lost their opening game, and if they lose this, 2 defeats in a row, is it too early for alarm bells? I mean, to be fair to them, Bournemouth have gone away to Liverpool and lost. Wolves have lost at home to Man City. I think the manner of the defeat's not great for Wolves, to concede 4 and not score, of course, not many positives to take. At least for Bournemouth, Semenyo had a good game, of course.
Good player, isn't he?
I mean, what a way to silence someone who's given you racial abuse, to go and then get 2 goals.
Yeah.
I think Bournemouth might win this. I think there's not a lot in it, but I think with the home advantage, I'm going to go Bournemouth 2, Wolves 1.
Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth, they've just signed Ben Doak as well. They've obviously got a bit of money to chuck around because they'd sold quite a few players. So it is quite a different team to last season. I thought they played really well against Liverpool for the majority of the game. It was just later on in the game it seemed to get away from them, but Liverpool just had that class. Wolves, I don't really want to judge too much against Man City because Man City are just that good that you think, well, okay, any team could get beat or even more by Man City. I do think Bournemouth are going to win this one though. 2-0.
Oh,
yeah.
2-0 to the Cherries. I mean, are you a little bit concerned about Wolves?
Little bit. I mean, it's early days, but I'm a little bit concerned about West Ham, Wolves and Brentford at the moment.
We did highlight them as the 3 teams that could be drawn into trouble this season.
True.
Let's see, still early days. Next up, Sophie, we go to Brentford versus Aston Villa. Of course, Brentford with that 3-1 defeat to Nottingham Forest. At least Igor Thiago got off to a scoring start, but it was from the penalty spot and it was a consolation, I guess. At home, I don't think it's impossible Brentford get something here, but I think Villa, after a 0-0 against Newcastle last time, Sophie, are going to want that first win. What are you saying?
I'm leaning towards Villa, to be honest. I think Brentford are going to be without Visa because he's really forcing that move now. And it's funny because the Newcastle fans don't like how Isak have gone about things, but if Visa is pushing for the move to Newcastle, it's like, okay, it's completely different when it's shoes on the other foot. But is he going to play in this one? Surely not. If he's pushing for a move, I don't see him playing in this one, and that is a massive miss. 1-0 Villa. I do fancy Villa a little bit more at home, but I do think they're just going to get 1 and then sit back, see the game out, and that's it. It's 3 points.
Yeah, that's a scribble again.
Oh, you said you were going to say 1. Wow.
I've kind of kept changing my mind as I'm thinking about this one. I don't think there's many goals. I think after last week with Villa's game, I know there was the red card, but I thought it was very tight.
Yes.
And if Villa have a similar game here, they'd probably just pinch it 1-0.
Yeah.
Let's go for things to get a little bit more open in the second half. I'll go Brentford 1, Villa 2. Okay. I do see Villa winning it by the 1 goal. Watch that come back to bite me. But I just fancy Villa here. So there you go. You got 1-0 and 2-1. Do share your thoughts down below. And that would be 2 defeats out of 2 for Brentford. Next up, Sophie, we have an all-championship matchup from last season as Burnley take on Sunderland. And it already feels like a massive game because Sunderland, Sophie, have got off to a flying start. 3-0 winners over West Ham. How good were they?
Very good. I think we both fancied them to get something. I think we both bottled predicting them to win.
Yeah, well, we both said a draw. You're right. We probably both didn't want to go the full way and back them to win. But, I mean, they kept a clean sheet and they've scored 3 very good goals. And the fact that all 3 goals came from players that had actually come up with them from the Championship goes to show that they're not just going to stay up just because of new signings. They have got a good team that brought them up as well. Yeah,
and they're still being linked with the players as well, so they're still strengthening that team. So I think it could be a decent season for Sunderland.
This is difficult though,
It's
Sophie.
very difficult because Burnley in the Championship, they did not concede many.
Well, I mean, obviously, do you remember the 0-0 between Burnley and Sunderland last season? Isidore stepped up for 2 penalties right at the end, and James Trafford saved both of them. But he's not there to stop them this time.
No, I know.
And to be fair, Sunderland also beat Burnley at the Stadium of Light. They took 4 points off Burnley last season, which is something that Leeds didn't do and Sheffield United didn't do. So, I mean, Sunderland know how to deal with Burnley. This is huge though, Sophie. I mean, Burnley will look at last week's results and see that Leeds have 3 points, Sunderland have 3 points, they have to get 3 points here.
Yeah.
They've got the home advantage. Burnley have to win this. I think a draw is a better result for Sunderland because it keeps Burnley at arm's length and Sunderland remain unbeaten. But I'm not going to go for a draw. I'm going Burnley 1, Sunderland 2.
See, I was tempted to say that. Now I feel like I'm going to have to go 1-0 Sunderland.
Okay.
I'm still backing them to win. I feel like it could be quite a close game just because Burnley, obviously they don't want to lose any games, but you don't want to lose to the teams that you can picture around you come the end of the season. So I think they're just going to be quite defensive, be really hard to break down. But I do feel like Sunderland have the quality to do it. Just the once though, so 1-0 for me.
Yeah, and I tell you what, this is how I see the game playing out. I think Burnley will try and be on the front foot. I think they're going to have a lot of chances and they're going to be made to pay for not taking enough of them because Sunderland are really devastating on the counter and they can hit you where it hurts.
That's where I think they'll hit them. I actually feel like Burnley will be quite defensive, but when they then go to attack, I feel like that's when Sunderland are going to pounce and that's when they'll get their goal.
Yeah. I mean, Burnley, the onus is on Burnley to go and win the game. They are at home and they need to catch up with Sunderland and Leeds. I think the fact that Burnley need to go and win it is good for Sunderland because it means that they can
open.
Yeah, they can then pick them off on the counter, as you say. Share your thoughts. That'd be a massive result for Sunderland and a really damning one for Burnley. Next up, Sophie, we go to the Emirates where Arsenal take on the other newly promoted team, Leeds United, who got off to a winning start against Everton last night, Sophie. I was so happy for them because the thing is, this season I've predicted Leeds to stay up. You've predicted Sunderland to stay up. Something that we've just said this morning is maybe
they could both stay up.
Maybe they could both stay up.
You can't rule that out right now. There's other teams that are in the Prem that are underperforming, and you think they could be sucked into it. I
mean, let's talk about Leeds, Sophie. I thought they were brilliant against Everton and they deserved the win. Okay, maybe people are going to say the handball is a harsh decision and I mean, he's trying to get it behind him, but then he does lean into the ball.
That's the only thing where VAR's not giving it because he's leant towards the ball, but his arm's tucked in, so it's a really tricky one.
It is. I think it's almost inconclusive, and because the on-field decision was a penalty,
you're not going to reverse that, are you?
I know, but I get why people say it's harsh. Anyway, like I say, I think Leeds deserve to win.
Yes.
Not that that's how the game works, that they should just get a penalty for that, but you get my point. Can they get something at Arsenal, Sophie? I think is very difficult. This is the Premier League. This is a free hit. Arsenal are going for the title, and Arsenal have just had a good start. 1-0 away at Man United. Not the best performance from Victor Gyökeres, but give him time, and I think a lot of the Arsenal players will relish this at home to a newly promoted team. This is where they want to sort of maybe get a couple of goals, but where do you see this going?
Am I going first score?
Yeah, you're up first.
I actually see Arsenal winning 2-0. I think some people might get carried away and say, no, against the newly promoted team there'll be 3-4 goals. No, I don't see that happening. I do see Leeds coming and giving Arsenal a good game, because I thought they gave Everton a very, very good game and they definitely did deserve the win. But Arsenal are very, very dominant. I thought it was a pretty good performance against Man United. It wasn't the most exciting, but it was efficient. They got the job done. They got the goal. They saw it out 1-0. Not many teams would have the confidence to do that. But I feel like with Leeds being a little bit more attacking, it's going to leave them open, and I feel like they might get punished, but just the twice, to be honest. And I don't think that's a terrible result, you know.
I think Leeds are going to come here and try and think damage limitations, try and stay in the game. If you get to half time 0-0, you're doing something right. I was actually going to go for 2-0, but you've taken that. I don't necessarily... Do I see Leeds scoring? I think they're going to just try and hang on in. I think Leeds are going to try and hang on, but I think Arsenal will get a goal. I will go 1-0. 1-0 to the Arsenal again, which, I mean, is great for Arsenal because it's, they've won their first 2 games. And next up, Sophie, after this, they've got Liverpool away, which is really tricky. You want to go there and feel like a draw's not a bad result when you go there. You don't want to be chasing the win. As for Leeds, though, Sophie, this would be a very encouraging start because we said if they can beat Everton, they've got points on the board. They don't have to get something from these games, which are kind of like free hits. So I'm going 1-0, you're going 2-0, and let's see what happens. Good luck to Leeds. I honestly do want them to stay up this season, but I think Arsenal are just too strong.
Yeah.
Next up, Sophie, we have Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. I think this is going to get tasty. This is the battle between a team that threw the other one out of the Europa League. Well, no, I'm sure the Nottingham Forest fans will be quick to say that it wasn't them that threw them out of the league. It was actually Palace that threw them out of the Europa League by not following the rules. I thought Forest were very good against Brentford, and I'm really pleased for them because obviously they ended last season not particularly great, but they've started this season well, and they've kind of put the end of last season behind them. Palace, Sophie, I mean, they've got European fixtures flying around already. I do think, though, Sophie, Palace fans are really going to be up for this. Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't know if you saw the Palace fans away at Chelsea, they're singing about Marinakis and all that, and they're going to really want to screw Forest over. Like, I just think like there's going to be a real bit of needle to this one. Actually, we do need to mention before I do my prediction, Eze's disallowed goal. I think he's hit the ball really well. I think Sanchez, I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but he's being Sanchez. But if the rules are the rules and you can't go within a metre of the wall...
Yeah, but I think I'd read that the rule was brought in around 2019, right? And it's the first time it'd been ruled.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Incredibly harsh.
I think the problem some people will have with it is the consistency.
Well, there's zero consistency with officiating.
So I do get that point. But if this is a rule, then you've got to abide by it. But I get people's issue with it. I think this might be a draw, Sophie.
I do as well. I've got a feeling we're going to go for the same score.
Oh, do you know what then? Should I go different? You know I like Forest. But I think this is going to be really tricky because the Palace fans are really going to be riled up for this. If this was at the City Ground, I might go for Forest. But with it being at Selhurst Park, I'm going to go 2-1 Palace.
Oh,
I just think the Palace fans are going to be so up for it. They're like, we need to beat these. Yeah, I'm torn between a Palace win and a draw. But what are you saying?
I'm saying a draw. I'm not sure if Palace are going to be without Eze or not. I don't know how close he is with his move to Spurs. If they're without him, that is a big miss. Obviously fancy Forest more when they are at home, but I feel like this one's got a draw written all over it. Not just because Palace drew their first game, but I feel like it's two pretty defensively solid teams, to be honest, and I feel like it's going to be hard to choose a winner here. So 1-1 for me.
Yeah, that's maybe where I'd have gone otherwise. Yeah, do share your thoughts, Palace and Forest fans. Is it going to be a tasty atmosphere? I'm sure it's going to be. Next up, Sophie, we go to the Dickinson Hill Stadium. Or is it the Hill Dickinson?
I actually don't know which way around it is.
It's Everton's new stadium. I can't wait for this, Sophie. I mean, obviously Goodison Park was amazing. Such a historic, traditional ground. But every time a team does move into their new ground, when it's the first game, it is really exciting. And I think Everton are going to win. I know they were absolutely stinky against Leeds United. I don't think they were good whatsoever. No. I know the penalty, questionable, but the performance wasn't questionable. That was terrible.
It was poor.
Brighton drew with Fulham. Obviously, they conceded right at the end. And we both think Brighton are going to have a good season. But I just think with the home crowd, the first home game, Everton are going to win. But you're up first.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, but ultimately it's the players on the pitch, and against Leeds they were just shocking. So if they turn up like that, they'll get absolutely battered by Brighton. However, I do feel like on the occasion they might turn up, play a little bit better. I still think they'll lose though. I cannot back them to win after that performance, and I know it was a dubious penalty, and I was watching it and I thought there's no way that's a penalty. Tarkovsky's got his arms literally by his side. He can't put his arms any further back. Either way, they didn't deserve anything from the game. So, Brighton 1-0.
Oh, no.
Low scoring, but yeah, Brighton 1-0.
That's a terrible start at the new stadium. I think if there's any manager who's going to raise Everton's performance levels, it's David Moyes. So let's go...
I thought that at half-time. I thought they might come out a different team, but they didn't.
Let's go 3-0 Everton.
No, you're joking.
No, I'm doing it.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm doing it. No, I'll tell you what, Sophie. Not. It's the new stadium. And I think I tell you what, last night's result against Leeds will have that effect on them where they're like, do you know what, we were so bad. We can't repeat that performance in our first game at the new stadium. We're going to rock up and we're going to go for it.
Who's scoring 3 goals? Because it's not better. Say that now.
Grealish, Dewsbury Hall and Pickford. There you go. On to the next one, Sophie. We've got Fulham versus Manchester United. This one feels a little bit difficult to predict because Fulham got a late draw at Brighton. Good result for them. Good limbs from the Fulham fans, by the way. Manchester United lost 1-0 to Arsenal. I don't think they were terrible.
They played better than last season. I will give them that. There is improvements there.
And they've lost to a very good team.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely an argument that Man United could get something here. I'm not quite sure where to go with this. I think I'm going to go down the middle.
Oh, I'm going down the middle.
1-1.
I was going to say 1-1. That's really annoying. 0-0 then, because I do see it being a draw. Let's say they cancel each other out. 0 goals, but... I don't know, maybe a bit of a boring game. Like a couple chances, but nothing like spectacular. So, 0-0.
0-0. So both going for the draw, which is not a bad result for United. It means they're up and running.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's a loss and a draw, isn't it? It's not a great start.
Yeah, but look, you've got to try.
It's a point on the board.
Yeah,
say that.
You've got to almost have a hard reset of your expectations and start from the bottom and work your way back up. Share your thoughts, Fulham and Man United fans. Would you be happy with a draw? The final game, Sophie, is Newcastle United versus Liverpool. And I mean, this one should be tasty because this has got a bit of needle to it because it's the Isak saga derby. Because Isak wants to leave, but Newcastle don't want him to leave. And now it's such a mess. I think, just like with the Palace Forest game earlier, the home fans are going to be really riled up for this. I think Newcastle can definitely take positives from a draw at Villa Park.
Yeah.
And yes, they're playing Liverpool, who we've both backed to win the league. And I thought Liverpool were good going forwards against Bournemouth. Maybe questionable.
Defensively questionable.
Questionable defensively. But I think Newcastle could get something. But what are you saying?
Newcastle being the home side makes me think they could get something from this game. However, the way Liverpool turned it around against Bournemouth, I feel like I've got to lean towards them again. I'm going to say it's a close game, but I'm just edging Liverpool 2-1.
So you're going for 2-1 to Liverpool. I am going to predict a 1-1 draw. I think Liverpool, as we've just mentioned, there are gaps where you can exploit them at the back.
Definitely.
I still have them to win the league because I think they're a very powerful force and there's a real togetherness there. But I just think, even though Newcastle are missing Isak, and of course he scored in the Carabao Cup final when they beat Liverpool last season, I think with the home advantage, Newcastle might get something. So I'm going to go 1-1 and you're going 2-1 to the Reds. And that wraps it up for another week, guys. That is our Premier League Game Week 2 predictions. How are you feeling?
Pretty confident, actually. I don't think we did well first week. But now that we've seen how the teams are playing, I feel like we should do a little bit better. Well,
I certainly didn't do well last week. I hope, let's see how we get on this time. Guys, be sure to play along, get your predictions down in the comments. It takes 2 seconds. Go on, get involved. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well. Your support has been fantastic. Let's keep growing as a community. We'll be back with more Premier League predictions next week. Thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
We will see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace out.